Listen, the first SUV I'm about to show you is sitting on dealership lots right now, like that one gym membership you swore you'd use in January. The last one? That one is so discounted it almost feels illegal to buy it. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from a guy I know. Not my best friend, not someone I'd trust with my Netflix password, but a dealership manager out in Ohio. We talk cars, business, and occasionally he tells me things that probably make his corporate office break out in a cold sweat. This time he goes, "Man, I've got cars out here costing me $400 a month just to exist. Not to sell, not to drive, just to sit there, like decorative lawn furniture." And that's when it clicked. Today, on Old Man Garage, I'm going to show you which SUVs are quietly draining dealership bank accounts and how you can walk in there and basically rob them. Legally, of course. Because the first one? This one's a mess. Not the car, the situation. Now listen carefully, because this number sounds fake. 70.8%. That's how many 2024 model year Grand Cherokees were still sitting unsold on dealer lots, according to late 2025 data. That means if you walk onto a Jeep lot, statistically speaking, 7 out of 10 of those things are just vibing. Not selling, not moving. Just there. That's not a slow month. That's a corporate level who approved this production plan kind of disaster. And the company behind it, Stellantis, basically flooded dealerships like it was Black Friday, but nobody showed up. Now here's where it gets interesting. When dealers are drowning in inventory, they don't become picky. They become negotiators, aggressive ones. Right now, you can find Grand Cherokees with up to $9,250 in incentives. That's not a cute little rebate. That's, we need these gone before accounting notices money. We're talking about a vehicle that starts around $37,995, and suddenly you're negotiating in the low 30s. Some deals even dip into the high 29s if the car has been sitting long enough collecting dust and existential dread. And before you go, yeah, but it's a Jeep. Let me stop you right there. This is not the Jeep from 2010 with questionable life choices and electrical gremlins that show up like uninvited guests. The current generation, launched in 2022, is actually good. Like, surprisingly good. Under the hood, you've got the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 pushing 293 horsepower. No turbo. No nonsense. Just a naturally aspirated engine that's been around since 2011 and has seen more road time than your uncle's pickup truck. And it's paired with the legendary ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, the same one used by BMW, Audi, and even some models from Alfa Romeo. So yeah, you're basically getting a transmission with a European passport inside your American SUV. Fuel economy sits around 19 miles per gallon city and 26 highway, which isn't winning any eco awards. But let's be honest, if you're buying a Grand Cherokee for fuel savings, we need to have a separate conversation. Now inside, this thing is not playing around. Soft touch materials, large infotainment screens, digital cluster, optional air suspension. It's giving, I got my life together energy, even if you don't. And if you go for something like the Trailhawk trim, now you've got actual off-road hardware, 2-speed transfer case, skid plates, locking rear diff. This isn't a mall crawler pretending to be tough. This thing can actually leave pavement and not panic. Try doing that in a Toyota Highlander and you'll hear plastic crying. But, and this is important, we're not here to pretend it's perfect. If your goal is to hit 300,000 miles with nothing but oil changes and blind optimism, yeah. A Toyota is still the safer bet. The Grand Cherokee is solid, but it can have those little personality traits. Infotainment glitches, sensor recalibrations, random electronic quirks. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to remind you it has character. So, here's how you play this smart. When you go to the dealership, don't just test drive it. Interrogate it. Check every window, every button, every seat adjustment. Open menus like you're hacking into the Pentagon. If anything lags, freezes, or acts weird, congratulations. You just found yourself another $500 to $1,000 in negotiation leverage. Ask how long the vehicle has been sitting. If they say not long, and the tires look like they've been rooted to the ground since the last presidential election, you already know the truth. Also, check the build date on the door jamb. If it's been sitting over 120 days, that dealer has been paying interest on it every single month. That car is not inventory anymore. It's a liability with wheels, and that's your advantage. Now, if you think that's crazy, The next SUV isn't drowning in inventory, it's doing something even more insane. And if this one already made you rethink everything you know about car buying, the next one might actually save you more money than anything else on this list. Now hold on, because this next one gets even crazier, just in a completely different way. 0%. Zero, not one. Not low APR, not special financing. 0% financing for up to 60 months on a brand new 2026 Tucson. That's 5 years of borrowing money for free. Hyundai basically looked at interest rates and said, nah, we're good. And if you've ever financed a car before, you know how insane that actually is. Let me break it down in real-world terms, because this is where people usually mess up. A 2026 Tucson SE starts around $30,000. With 0% financing over 60 months, you're sitting at roughly $500 a month. Clean. Simple. No interest sneaking in like a subscription you forgot to cancel. Now take that exact same $30,000 and go buy something like a Toyota RAV4 at around 7% interest, which is pretty normal right now. Suddenly your payment jumps to about $594 a month. That's $94 more. Every single month. For the exact same price vehicle. Over 5 years, that's over $5,600. You're not buying a better car at that point. You're buying a logo and a conversation starter at Thanksgiving. Yeah, I paid extra, but it's a Toyota. Cool. Hyundai just kept that money in their pocket. And here's the funny part. The Tucson isn't even bad. Like, at all. Under the hood, you've got a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder making 187 horsepower, paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, not a CVT, which already earns it respect in certain circles. Fuel economy sits around 25 miles per gallon city and 32 highway, which is solid for a compact SUV that isn't trying to cosplay as a hybrid. But if you do want more power, the hybrid version bumps that up to 231 combined horsepower and around 38 miles per gallon combined. That's not SUV numbers. That's why is this beating sedans? Numbers. And then we get to the warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. Hyundai basically said, we believe in this car so much, we'll back it longer than most relationships last. Meanwhile, Toyota and Honda are over there with 5 years, 60,000 miles like, that should be enough, right? Now here's where it gets even better. And this is the part nobody tells you. Dealers are still discounting these. Even with 0% financing, you're seeing $2,000 to $3,000 off MSRP on some units. Why? Because inventory is quietly building up. Not disaster level like Jeep, but enough that dealers are starting to feel uncomfortable. And uncomfortable dealers make deals. So now you're stacking $2,000 to $3,000 off zero-interest, lower monthly payment. You're basically saving somewhere in the range of $7,000 to $8,000 compared to a competitor financed at market rates. That's not pocket change. That's a vacation. That's a used motorcycle. That's I don't stress about my car payment anymore money. And yet, people are still walking past it. Why? Because it's not the cool choice. It's not the one your neighbor brags about. It's the smart one. And let's be honest, the market doesn't reward smart. It rewards popular. So if you're going to look at one, here's how you play it like someone who watches Old Man Garage and doesn't get finessed. First, check the build date on the door jamb. Anything sitting over 90 days? That dealer has been paying interest on it. Smile politely, and then ask for more money off. Second, test the tech. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all of it. Some early units had minor connection hiccups, nothing major, but make sure yours is updated and behaving. Third, if you're getting all-wheel drive, go into a parking lot and do full lock turns. Listen. Feel. No weird binding, no clicking. If it feels smooth, you're good. And if you find a leftover 2025 model that's been sitting, oh, now you're in business. Check the brake rotors for rust, tires for flat spots, normal stuff from sitting. But guess what? Every little imperfection is another excuse to knock money off. Now here's the part where it gets interesting. Because if you think free money is crazy, the next SUV isn't just undervalued, it's being ignored, completely. And the reason why might be the dumbest thing in the entire car market. If this one made you think, the last one is going to make you question how people even decide what to buy. Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you heard someone say, man, I really want a Buick? Exactly. Buick has the same branding problem as your uncle who still uses Facebook like it's 2012. Nothing wrong with him. People just stop paying attention. And that right there is exactly why this car is sitting. Because it's not bad. It's not average. It's actually one of the most quietly solid SUVs in this entire segment, and almost nobody is buying it. Right now, dealerships are sitting on around 140 days of inventory for Buick models. For context, brands like Toyota are hovering around 30 days. That's not a gap. That's a canyon. And the Envision is right in the middle of it. Sales dropped over 60% year over year in late 2025. That's not a dip. That's a free fall with no parachute. So what happens when a car doesn't sell? Dealers get nervous. Manufacturers start throwing incentives. And suddenly, you've got leverage. A lot of it. Now here's where it gets funny. Because if you actually look at the car itself, it doesn't match the reputation at all. Under the hood, you've got a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder making 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Same engine family used in Cadillac models. So yeah, underneath that Buick badge is something a little more dressed up than people expect. It's paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission, real gears, not a CVT pretending to be one, and every single trim comes standard with all-wheel drive. No extra charge, no premium package. No, you gotta go up 2 trims for that. Meanwhile, other brands are out here charging $1,500 just to send power to the rear wheels. Fuel economy comes in around 22 miles per gallon city and 28 highway, which is respectable for something with AWD standard across the board. And then you step inside, and this is where people usually go, wait, what? There's a massive curved display stretching across the dash that looks like it belongs in something way more expensive. Clean layout, modern interface, none of that button overload from 2015 nonsense. Materials are soft, the cabin is insanely quiet. Buick leans hard into what they call quiet tuning, which sounds like marketing fluff until you drive it and realize you can actually hear your own thoughts for once. Triple door seals, acoustic glass, active noise cancellation. It's basically noise-canceling headphones, but for your commute. And yet, still sitting. Why? Because nobody's flexing a Buick on Instagram. That's it. That's the reason. Now let's talk money, because this is where things get interesting. Starting price is around $42,895. But people are already negotiating $2,000 to over $2,200 off MSRP before incentives even hit. Then Buick comes in with things like 0.9% APR for 36 months and even no payments for 120 days. Think about that for a second. They're literally telling you, take the car. We'll worry about the money later. That's not confidence. That's inventory pressure. So here's how you play this like a professional. First, ask the dealer to sort inventory by days in stock. Don't ask what's available, ask what's been sitting. The one that's been there for 180 days, that's your target. That car has been costing them money every single month. Second, check the build date on the door jamb. If you find a leftover 2025 model sitting there halfway into 2026, congratulations. You just found a dealer's problem and your opportunity. Third, cold start test. Some owners have reported slight hesitation from the transmission when it's cold. Nothing major, but drive it for at least 15 minutes. If it smooths out, you're good. If it doesn't, just walk 10 feet to the next identical one. There's plenty. And finally, if it has a panoramic sunroof, take 30 seconds and check the headliner edges. Any signs of moisture or staining? It's rare. But if you find it, that's negotiation gold. So let's step back for a second. You've got a Jeep, Grand Cherokee with massive discounts because of a corporate inventory overload, a Hyundai Tucson basically giving away money with 0% financing, and a Buick Envision quietly being one of the most solid SUVs in its class while nobody pays attention. None of these are bad cars. They're just stuck in situations that have nothing to do with how good they actually are. And that is where smart buyers win. Because the truth is simple. The market doesn't reward the best vehicles. It rewards the most popular ones. And if you're willing to look where nobody else is looking, you can save thousands without sacrificing anything that actually matters. If this video saved you money, or is about to, hit that like button and subscribe to Old Man Garage because I'm going to keep breaking down the cars people overlook. and the ones that quietly drain your wallet. And trust me, the next list I've got coming, those are the SUVs that look like a good deal, right until 5 years later. I'll see you there.